I'm Charlie Greer for CKVI Radio, and I'm joined by Dan Shulman, who is the host and play-by-play announcer for Rogers Blue Jays Baseball. Thank you for taking time to speak with me today.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Charlie. Anytime.
You started off doing play-by-play for hockey games at the '94 Lillehammer Olympics, and now you're the host of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball. You do basketball games as well for TSN. How do you compare your approach to covering the different sports of hockey, basketball, and baseball?
Well, I haven't done hockey in a long time, and I actually started off doing football games at Western and University at CHRW back in 1985 or 86, so I've done all four sports, but now I only do baseball and basketball, and they're very different because baseball is slower, there's more time to have conversations and to really get some stories out, and basketball is up and down, so they're very different. I mean, I enjoy both of them, but basketball, you've got to stick to what's going on the field more. Baseball, you've got time to really tell more stories, get a little more conversational. And I did talk radio before I got into play-by-play, so, I was used to having a 3 or 4 hour show, so it didn't, the notion of spending a lot of time talking over issues didn't really bother me, so getting into baseball was a perfect fit.
What kind of research do you do for a game, and how much do you plan when and where you might include information over the course of a game?
I do a lot of research. I'm on the internet every day, and I'll go through it. As an example, Toronto and Boston, I'll go through all the Toronto newspapers, all the Boston newspapers. We get game notes from both the Red Sox and Blue Jays with, recent trends, who's hot, who's not, who's hurt, that kind of thing, how each batter matches up against each pitcher. I'll go through the media guides and get a lot of relevant biographical information on the two starting pitchers and some of the key players. In terms of when it's going to be used, the game dictates that. If I've got, 8 stories on Hideo Nomo, I'll try to get them in, but if there's other things going on and Nomo gets knocked out of the game early, well, all of a sudden that changes. Now I've got to worry about the relievers who are coming in. So I don't plan, this is the first inning, this is the second inning, this is the third inning. I believe in following the game rather than me dictating the course of the information.
You have a degree from the University of Western Ontario, but it's not for broadcasting or journalism. Could you explain how you got trained and how you went from your university days to covering the many sports that you do as a journalist?
Well, I'll try to make it short. My degree's in actuarial science. A branch that I was in administering pension plans for large corporations, but I didn't really enjoy it. While I was at Western, I worked at the campus radio station there, CHRW, for 3 years, broadcasting Western football, basketball, and hockey games, mostly basketball and football. And I graduated in actuarial science, became an actuary, wasn't enjoying it, and decided I wanted to try to get into radio. So I went up to CKVB in Barrie, which is no longer called CKVB, and started working there in news. And I sent out about 40 applications before I finally got a job, and it was just a weekend job. But I worked there and got promoted there, and then CJCL, which is now the Fan here in Toronto, came into being, and I knew somebody there, and they hired me to do late-night sportscasts there, and just one thing led to another. I got moved up to the afternoon show, and then Jim Hewson from TSN left the Blue Jays, and I auditioned and got this job. And this is certainly not where I thought I would be. My degree has nothing to do with this, but it was just something that I fell in love with in university when I was doing it as just an extracurricular activity.
So you obviously love this a lot more.
Oh yeah, I get paid to go to baseball games. I get paid to go to basketball games. It's a good job. It is a job. It is a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun, and I feel very fortunate to be doing what I'm doing.
If you could ask a question of any sports legend, past or present, who would that player be and why, and what would that question be?
Wow. I would probably ask Jackie Robinson what it was like to break the color barrier in baseball in 1947. It's probably the most historic event in baseball because baseball changed for the better after Jackie Robinson and other black players were allowed to play. So I'd probably go back to 1947 and find out what that was like.
Lastly, you have broadcast Blue Jay games with Buck Martinez for years, and you've even won an award with him for most outstanding sports broadcasting. How do you feel about losing your broadcast partner when he left broadcasting to become the manager of the Jays, and what is one of your best memories of the many games you covered with him?
Well, I was sad to lose him, obviously, because we had a great time together on the air. I knew he had aspirations to get back into uniform, so it didn't surprise me. He was keeping me apprised of what was going on. But if I had to lose him anywhere, to lose him just down to the dugout here where I still get to see him and we still get to talk is the best place. And I think he's doing a very nice job, and I'm thrilled with, that TSN hired Pat Tabler as his replacement. But I'll always have a special place in my heart for Buck. I think everybody who listened to us knew we weren't just broadcast partners, we're good friends as well. So thrilled for him, but I miss having him up there a little bit. Our best memories, I think it's just that, as I said, we were friends first. We were friends before, we're friends now, and we really enjoyed doing the games together. It was never a chore for us to sit down together and do a baseball game. We visualize the game the same way, we enjoy the same things about the game, we see a television broadcast the same way, and it was just, getting a chance to work with him was, I was very fortunate to have a chance to work with someone as special as him.
Thank you for taking the time to speak with me. I've been speaking with Dan Shulman, who is the host and play-by-play announcer for Rogers Blue Jays Baseball. For CKVI Radio, I'm Charlie Greer.